Well, welcome everybody.
Hi, Patrick.
Can I have a motion to open the meeting tonight?
Go ahead.
Make a motion, we open the meeting at 6:05 or 6:04.
Wonderful, wonderful. All right, everybody, well, let's get started. You have the meeting minutes from our December 5th meeting in front of you. Any questions? If not, can I have a motion to accept the meeting minutes as written from December 5th? All right, Patrice. Glad to see everybody here tonight, by the way. There's nobody absent, which is wonderful. So Patrice, how about let us know about the state grant?
So, this year we got $9.70, last year we got $10. They're still going by the census from 2007, so that gives us 1,080 seniors then. Of course, we know we have
A lot more
500
than
to
that.
600 more now.
Yeah.
So what they're going to try to do is up it to $11 this year. So what they've tried to do is just kind of up a little bit each year, and then it doesn't really even out, but it's a little bit more money, which would be lovely because I'd be able to keep all of the exercise classes. Right now, we're kind of doing a study on who's in what. The yoga classes are doing very well. On Wednesday and on Thursday, we added a new one on Wednesdays because there was a demand for it. Tai Chi has a few regulars in it, but I want to see that one built up a little bit more. So at this point, if we had to make a decision on what exercise classes we were going to keep, yoga having the more participants would be where I would be spending the money. If I could afford to keep 2 yoga classes and the Zumba and the Tai Chi, then I would keep those 2. But if I had to make a cut based on the stats, it would probably be Tai Chi. So if we get the $11, I won't have to cut anything.
Great.
But there was such a demand for the extra yoga class that I couldn't really say no, and everybody's having a great time in it. Janet had come on Wednesdays too. So it's nice in the afternoon.
Absolutely, great.
Do they know, question, when you're gonna know the exact amount, so you can kind of plan it?
Usually, they let us kind of guesstimate, because it's an election year and there's a lot of stuff going on. We usually kind of know in July. Well, last year, we didn't get the grant until September.
Right.
I didn't even finish writing it until October or November. I only got the confirmation that we got it today, the contract. So I know that we got the grant. So they're so far behind with everything. So I would say, hopefully I will know in July, but the nice thing about it is I could keep the classes going for a while, and I would know by the fall, and then I would be able to make the decision.
Okay, but
You
you're
know,
guaranteed usually what, like this, for this fiscal year, what you're getting?
Yes,
So you're kind of guaranteed with that.
I already got that, so I have enough money to be able to continue on with all the classes. And I would have a little bit to be able to pay for the classes for a certain period of time, but not for a whole year, because now
Right.
you're talking,
Right.
you know, a few $1,000s more. So if we get the money, I'll be able to keep everything. If not, then we will reassess at that time as to what makes more sense to use the money, because I'd like to use the grant for all the activities for the seniors. And Zumba's a good
Right.
class, yoga's been a good class, Tai Chi struggled and then it's gotten better and then it struggles, and so, I mean, at any given time, you could either have a teacher that's out or you could have a senior that's out for 4 or 5 weeks because they've had surgery or because whatever. So I take into consideration who the regulars are and what types of things have thrown off the numbers in each class, you know, so.
Great, Great, wonderful, thank you.
Yep.
All right, report of bills and vouchers.
Basically, we didn't do too much. We had all our classes, the grant pays for those. Christine or Janet signs off on the bills, and other than phone bills and things like that, we haven't gotten anything exciting, but we did get a fax machine. And we just got new portable phones because our phones were dying, couldn't hold a conversation. Our fax machine kept on picking up the phone, and I don't know how old, we couldn't figure out how old it was. I think it was probably original,
Yeah,
so.
I might have signed a voucher when I started here.
Yes, probably.
Exactly.
And so it was getting really frustrating because now is the time of the year where fuel assistance is pretty much done. SNAP is always, but Mass Health is renewing. So to send out one of those applications, it can be 30 or 40 pages with everybody's documentation. I had to keep going up to the town hall. We couldn't get ours to work. We thought it was the fax line, but before I called the telephone company to come out and I spent money on it, we said, you know what, we had called it from our phones, we had plugged it into different ones, we could not get it to work, so we knew it was the fax machine, so we bought one. It wasn't expensive, it was like $300,
Oh, good.
and it was much needed, and as portable phones are only good for so long,
Yes, yes.
and they were 7 years old, we did check those, and we have to leave a phone out here, because if we're not here and the Sunshine Club's here, they have to have access to a phone. We have one in the office, and we have to be able to walk around with one, because like today, Sandy was in the kitchen, I was in the main room, or I was in the back. So it's nice to, so we
Sure,
have
absolutely.
3 cordless phones that we're able to hop around with. Plus on a day that I'm here, Cheryl's here, Katie might be here, it's nice for anybody to have a phone access, so.
That's wonderful.
That's pretty much all we've gotten.
Good, great, great. And then attendance has been wonderful for the last couple of
Attendance
months?
did really well, considering the flu season,
Yes.
that we've had. And a lot of the really cold, bitter cold weather, the snowstorms that have interfered, a lot of heavy
Sure,
rainstorms.
January was a difficult month.
And some of just late December was too.
Mm.
So, not even having a tremendous amount of programs, just our regular ones, a lunch thrown in here or there, or a holiday party. We had 322 people last year in December and 355 this year.
Great.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
We had 262 last year, and we had 307 this year in January. And we had 313 in February last year and 342 in February this year. And even though we had to change our Valentine's party, people still came. I think we had 2 people that couldn't come, because they had another commitment. We had to change it because the entertainer's family member got sick, and so we changed the party to be able to match the entertainment. It was no big deal to do it, so. But yeah, I was really excited about our stats, because it just shows that we're continuing to increase.
Sure.
And I wanna say we probably had maybe 6 new people join this month, there's a lot of new faces. We have a couple of new ones that have joined into bingo and then other programs, and we had a couple of new ones that stopped in last week, and they joined the painting class on Monday, and I think they got tickets for St. Patrick's Day, so I'm anticipating that, that they will continue, so it's been really nice to have new members.
Yeah.
We had 2 people stop in today. Yep, so.
It just keeps increasing month over month.
It
which is
does,
wonderful.
yeah, and it's amazing.
Not only town residents either, you're getting
No,
out of town.
we're getting a lot of people from other towns now too. And I tell everybody I don't card you at the door, so if you're 61 or if you're 58 and a half, I don't know.
Mhm.
And, you know, whatever they can contribute. We had a woman that wants to do craft classes, she stopped by the other day. So it's like, it's really nice. I think with all the things that are on TV, all our shows are on TV, I think the Facebook, I think with the newsletter, with the things that are in the newspaper, although my newsletter is not in there again this week.
Right.
Yeah.
And I gave them a 5-month newsletter, so I'm gonna email her tomorrow or Thursday, and I'm gonna say, can you please make sure that it's in, because the woman that came in today was from Whitensville. And she's moving, she grew up in Whitensville, but she's moving here. And she was up at the post office and said, oh, this is where the senior center is, and came down and got our newsletter and said, I saw everybody else in the newspaper, but I didn't see you. And I said, I send it over every time I write it, I send it monthly, I'll send the 5-month one. So I usually try to prod it along, and she's like, oh, great, I got 5 months worth, it'll be in the paper, and that was, mid-January? Or, no, the 1st of February, and still not in, so. They put our pictures in, they put all our parties in, but I'm like, I need the newsletter in.
Somebody puts it aside, so
Yeah,
it'll stay safe,
I know.
and then.
So I'm just gonna prod her with an email and try to remind her, cause she's lovely, and she has no problem putting things in for us, but I'm like, yeah. And they don't really have a deadline down there, as long as I get it to them the week before, it's in the following week. So, but yeah, the newspaper, but even showing the programs, you know what I mean, people read about them and such, so. And word of mouth.
Yeah.
You know, the entertainer that we had for Valentine's Day, said he has played at a lot of places. Cause when I had called him, he's gonna be a new entertainer for us, so I kinda drilled him, I wanna see videos, and he was doing us a favor by coming out last minute. And, he said, what are your age groups? And I said, we have people that are 16, we have people that are 100, almost 102. He's like, so are they, social? I go, this is a very young, active senior center, trust me when I tell you. And he's like, really? And I said, yeah. So when he left, he said, this is the best place I've ever played at. He goes, it's like a family here. I felt like I was hanging out with my family. He goes, it wasn't like a bunch of people just sitting staring, like everybody interacts with everybody and everybody knows everybody and, and we really pride ourselves on that. There is no cliquey.
No.
You know what I mean? There was like those 2 new people that were in the painting class the other day. Everybody went over and said hi or, and introduced themselves. And so that's 2 ladies that are coming in as friends, making other friends. But when you have somebody that comes in all by themselves, we flag them and we put them usually with Janet or Rita.
The welcoming committee.
The welcoming committee. And so that way they sit it, and then the next time they come in, we try to put them with another group. Until they kind of find their own, where they're comfortable. Because we don't want anybody sitting alone, never. No,
That's
so,
great,
yeah,
wonderful.
yeah.
All good news, that's
Yeah.
wonderful.
Yep.
Great.
So,
All right, upcoming events for March and April, anything exciting happening, which usually is?
so much, so much. So we have the lunch and learn with Yvonne from Hannaford today. She's lovely. She came in and she answered everybody's questions about what can you take for vitamins, what time should you be taking certain medications.
Well, that would be the pharmacist.
Yes,
Oh, wonderful.
the pharmacist, yep. And we had a nice stuffed pepper lunch, and we had really good attendance for that today. So, and we have the new police chief, Nick, I'm gonna kill his name, Miglianico?
Yes.
Okay, I have to say it really
It'll
slow.
take us a few times.
Yeah, so he's gonna start having lunch with us once a month.
Is he really?
Everybody
Nice.
is excited, so I
Very
called
nice.
in the lunch today, fingers crossed for Thursday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's gonna do good in this community.
Yeah,
You
he's a
know,
very
he-
good guy.
He's very welcoming, he's,
That's,
No.
yeah, if he's
Very
gonna come in
approachable.
to have lunch, that's
yeah,
good.
very approachable,
Yep.
real nice guy.
Yeah, I think he'll be an asset.
And I had asked him, and he said,
Absolutely.
you're right on my list of
Yeah.
new things that I wanna be able to do, so he goes, send me some dates, so I sent him like a date every month, just say whatever works for you. Oh, no, he picked them all. I'm like, oh, you're coming every month? He's like, yeah, sure, why not? I'm like,
Yeah.
so they're really excited about that.
Yeah.
Great. What else we got?
We have the St. Patrick's Day party is going to be on March 15th. BVT is going to be doing the food because they make really good corned beef and cabbage. The tickets are $9 because of course we have to pay the caterer. The show is free, it's gonna be sponsored by the Cultural Council. We actually got a little bit more money from the Cultural Council this year than in previous years. I'm not sure if it's because we advertise and we try to really spend the money, we have a really good group for all of our shows. Or if they had a little bit extra to give us, but either way, I'm really excited about it. I know it's a few $100s more, but I can't really quote the actual amount because I haven't received the paperwork yet. But I heard from a good source that we got a little extra money, so.
Very nice.
We're really excited about that, because we used to get maybe, I think I got a few $100s the first time I put in for it. Then it's usually around 500 or so, which always pays really for Smile Day, St. Patrick's Day, some of the bigger entertainments. The Sunshine Group is great at chipping in at other things, and we do have our gift account. My mother-in-law, who passed away in December, she was on the board for a lot of years, and she enjoyed a lot of the programs. And we did set up an account for donations to go into her name, into our account. So we'll be able to do some shows with that money too.
Very
So, yeah, we figured that was a nice way to use it. We're gonna be starting a new craft class with this woman, Chris, that came in yesterday. She makes a lot of really nice stuff, very easy, simple things, so I told her to surprise us, and as long as it was senior friendly, and
When's that gonna be?
it's gonna start on the 19th. It'll be a small group at first, it will be on a Monday, but we're just gonna use probably in here because Pam's out there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Great.
And as we get more people signing up for it, then we're gonna have to change where it's gonna be. I mean, all these rooms are used multiple times a day, so it's really hard to plan or do anything if it's not on a Wednesday or a Thursday.
Mm.
And if it's on a Thursday, you know, Marty's class is here, so it can be
In the
difficult.
morning?
And if it's on a Wednesday, you know what I mean, it's tough.
Yes.
We're gonna do cupcakes with Ashley and Maya, from the school, our volunteers that come in from the high school. They're very nice little cupcake decorators, so they're gonna come in, we're gonna do Easter cupcakes with them on Thursday the 29th, so that's March. And then we have something or multiple things every single solitary week in April, but
And filling up quick all the days.
we fill up quick, yeah, the high school's
Great.
gonna have a breakfast for us. The Sunshine Club has a couple of activities that Marty will speak about.
So
we have
watch
a-
the calendar.
Interactive memory class coming from Summit Elder Care, and we have a new book and movie club
Oh,
that
great.
we've been doing with Justin from the library, so we get a book and we read it, and then we have a little lunch, we talk about the book, and then we watch the movie that corresponds with it. So next month, we're gonna be doing Wonder. Yeah, which everybody says is wonderful, so we'll see.
Absolutely.
So, and it's a nice little group, and, you know, some women like some books, some women like other books, so we try to kinda, you know, figure out what everybody likes, and, yeah.
Wonderful.
I don't have to show up.
Exactly.
I love the book and the movie.
Yes, definitely.
So, new per diem staff member or?
So we had wanted to get a per diem to be able to cover for Cheryl or Sandy or myself or whoever because we're that busy, and if Cheryl can't cover, not one of us can be alone anymore, it's too much. So we had put out for it, we didn't really get anybody, I had one person that inquired, but the hours weren't conducive with her schedule, and she didn't feel that she could be reliable. And one day, this beautiful little cherub walked down the ramp and wanted to volunteer. And Sandy said, volunteer, we're hiring a per diem. And she goes, oh, I have a 2-year-old, and her husband is a merchant marine, so he's away for like, a month at a
Yeah,
time, and then
yeah.
home for a month, and she wanted to get out and about, and so I said, well, give me your resume, because she's super qualified, like she has a psych degree, a master's degree, like
Oh, wow.
she's amazing.
Too good to be true.
She is a dream. She happens to be the granddaughter-in-law of the Walls.
Oh.
Yes, she is married to their grandson, and
She
she,
is a delight.
just like Cheryl, you have to have I like a certain personality, because Sandy and I
She-
worked really
yeah.
well, and Cheryl came
She
floating in, and she's as perfect.
She fits right in,
And
huh?
Katie
Great.
fits right
Right
in.
in,
yeah.
Oh my
She's
God,
really
she's
sweet.
exceptional. So she's been working, maybe like a couple of days a month, coming in. If we have a big program, we get all hands on deck, and
Oh, good.
she's pleasant, and she's super hardworking, and she's very smart. So
Good.
we are delighted to have her.
That's great.
Yep.
That's wonderful,
Yep.
good. And then the pilot project with Kindles?
Okay, so, my nephew was over in I got a new Kindle for Christmas. And I'm not real tech savvy, I'm on the computer all day at work. When I go home, I like to just kinda relax. So my kids had gotten me a Kindle, cause my Nook was way outdated. And, my nephew had come a couple weeks later, and he's 10. And so I like to play board games and things, and he's like, Patrice, you should really try this new game. So I'm like, okay, so he downloaded on mine, and he had brought his, he has a tablet. So we played this game called Piano Tiles, which was super fun. And like, it's so fascinating for the brain. You have to remember things, it's hand-eye coordination, it was a lot of fun. And there was a couple other little games he put on my Kindle, and so I came in and I said, I think that would be really good for the seniors.
Oh, it is, yes.
So I thought about it, and then we gave one to my mother to see if she could do it. And she was laughing so hard, and she had so much fun. And then you can kind of make competition out of it, like my husband and I make competition out of this piano tile games. And so I said, that would be really fun. So I emailed Emmett, and he called for clarification. And I said I wanted to use it because when you write the grant, you have to write things very specific. I wanted to be able to use it as an interactive memory program intergenerationally with our volunteers from the high school that come down. So this way here, you've got these
What a
young
great
girls
program, yeah.
hanging out with our seniors and playing these games, and maybe having little competitions, and maybe having like a little fun board or a prize, or we'll do something. And he was like blown away by it and said, you know what, go with it, but you're the pilot. So we're gonna give statistics. Pat from the cable or one of his little associates is gonna come down and do some videoing once everybody figures out how to use them. And then we'll be able to make a little CD to be able to send off to the state and say that it was money well used. How did the program work? And did everybody like it? And would they continue to use them? So they'll be here at the senior center. Last week we had somebody that was early for bingo. We hadn't gotten them set up yet, but she was sitting there for like a half hour waiting for everybody to come in, and that would have been wonderful just for her to have something to do.
Yeah.
So we turned on the TV and we chatted with her, but we figured, why not? Technology, and they have, some of them have Kindles at home, they might wanna do this with their
No,
grandchildren,
it's a
so
great thing.
it was kind of a win-win.
Yeah,
So we figured we'd have some fun. So from a 10-year-old came a new program.
Works for me. And I think you mentioned this earlier, but you have a new yoga class added?
Yes, we added the yoga
Yeah.
class on Wednesdays, and it's been very successful.
Good, great. And Sunshine Club news?
Okay, we're having a beef stew dinner on March 22nd, 6 o'clock. The Honky Tonk Piano Man will be the entertainer. And the tickets went out today, so they're on sale now, $8 for the supper. Nighttime bingo is resuming this month, and also movie night is resuming this month. Nighttime bingo is the second Tuesday of the month, and the movie night is the last Wednesday of the month. In April, on the 4th, Pam has set up a genealogy program, 10:30 in the morning. Prior to that, we'll have coffee and donuts. And on the 18th, the Spice Lady is coming in. And again, that's at 10:30, and just before we'll have coffee and donuts.
The Spice Lady?
Yeah,
She was here last year,
yeah.
she's lovely.
Yeah, and she's written cookbooks and gives all kinds of great suggestions on spices, use of spices and things, so.
Very good.
Interesting.
Yeah, she was a lot of
As
fun.
far as we've gone Today, for May, we haven't gone into that yet. But we're really working toward the beef stew supper.
Mhm.
That's the big thing this month,
Sounds good.
on the 27th.
Well, thank you. Appreciate that. Any other business anybody like to bring up tonight?
Patricia's gonna become a grandma.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Tom, yes, we are
For
excited.
some reason, I don't feel old anymore. That doesn't happen in my
I'm
house.
still younger, Pat.
Exactly. I would like to bring up a possibility of changing the date of our meeting to a morning meeting instead of an evening meeting, and possibly doing it on a Thursday morning at 9 a.m. As long as this room is available. I don't know what
I
the,
think we're already
would be.
tired, yeah, except
That's
Christie,
not time now.
you can still.
I promised to bring coffee to this month's meeting.
We always have coffee and snacks.
I'll bring it to you.
What time on Thursdays?
We would do it at 9 a.m. on Thursday morning.
Be kind of beneficial, we wouldn't have to drive at dark, we wouldn't really have to be limited to when we could have meetings, we could probably have a whole year's worth, depending on weather and such. It's tough sometimes at night when it's
Yeah.
cold and it's rainy or it gets icy and
Yeah.
driving in the dark, so.
And it opens up, to the public too, a
Yeah.
little bit. It makes it a little bit easier and more accessible to our meetings,
Yeah.
quite honestly.
As long as Marty doesn't mind stopping in my driveway on her way past my house, then I'm good.
We'll get her
Yeah,
back
as
and
long as
forth.
I can
Yep.
get this place set up
Yep.
before 10 o'clock.
Yes,
So,
yep,
Will
no
that work?
problem,
Yeah,
that'll
we'll
work
be
for
fine.
us.
I promise.
Yeah, we
Um,
have to
And I
take a
can do
vote.
it, come in earlier if we
Yes,
need to, so you
exactly.
can do it before the meeting.
So, we need to take a vote on this.
Make a motion, all in favor?
I-
Sounds like, okay. I think we have everybody hands up, we're good? Okay, so I think we have a majority here.
Yeah.
Wonderful, so.
We got the whole board.
Exactly,
So
On my
it'll
vote.
be 9 o'clock on Thursday morning.
Yep, so that brings us to our next meeting date, which will be,
Can we do the, okay?
April 5th, which is a Thursday. That'll work for me.
So if we stick with the first week of the month, then I'll know in advance not to plan things on that day.
So the first
Okay.
Thursday.
First Thursday,
So-
first, I'm not too tired. First Thursday, I've been here since 8 o'clock, there we go.
Okay, and we'll try it and see how it goes.
So that's April 5th at 9.
9 o'clock.
9
AM,
o'clock.
9 AM on April 5th will be our next meeting.
You're gonna have to put down your deck of cards early.
Yeah. Yeah,
I promise it won't last long.
they won't mind if I come in my pajamas.
No. Janet, you know what, it's
It's gonna
wonderful
end
about it,
anyway
you can
because
do,
of the
yoga
Oh,
right
that's
after.
right too.
I
know.
Yes.
Yeah.
Perfect. Alrighty. Well, wonderful, everybody. Since we have no other business, can I get a motion to adjourn the meeting?
I make a motion.
Second.
Motion accepted. Everybody have a wonderful evening.